Hi, my name is Joe. I am a fat black belt, and today is Weigh-In Wednesday.
Yeah!
It's actually a little late for Weigh-In Wednesday,
Yeah!
but we're going to do it anyway. It's not like late for Weigh-In Wednesday,
Yeah.
which is to say it's not after Wednesday. It's still Wednesday for me, but nobody's going to see this before Thursday because I got late on the recording. That's okay. Shit happens. Let's talk about it today. I weighed in at 308 pounds. That is a 2-pound decrease from last week. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, A, good job, thanks. B, I bet it would have been an even larger decrease if you hadn't had the deep dish pizza and the ice cream. Yeah, Sherlock. But man, sometimes you choose to indulge. And I did it once, so whatever, I'll live. I made that choice. I knew that choice was going to result in a slightly lower decrease this week, and I made it on purpose, and I feel good about it. Yes, it was emotional eating. I don't think that's a problem as long as you know you're doing it, and as long as you're like, I get why, right? Every once in a while, I think it's totally okay to be like, I'm just going to have a stupid indulgent meal and enjoy it with my family and yakety schmackety. So, there you go. Now, though, because that was several days ago, I want to talk about the dangers of a good weigh-in. Weighed in this morning, 308 pounds. That felt pretty good, and then I immediately ate a bunch of crap. Not a bunch, but okay, let's talk about it. Like a bunch makes it sound like I, went to fast food joints and blah, 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 and ordered pizzas and ice creams and stuff, and I didn't do any of that. I took the kids out for burgers, and instead of getting a lettuce wrap like I usually do, I got a regular bun. Okay. And I'll tell you why. It wasn't like an incredible craving or anything. I just, so a couple of weeks ago at Red Robin, I got the Scorpion Burger. The Scorpion Burger is a thing on there. How do I explain this? There's 4 little fires next to it on the menu. 4. So it should be really hot, right? You would expect it to be spicy, and I wanted something spicy. And there was, and I cannot stress this enough, 0 heat. There should have been 0 little fires next to it on the menu. It wasn't just that it wasn't spicy. It was there was no spice. It might as well have been mayonnaise. I felt a little bit cheated. And so today, I wanted to give it another fair shake. I thought maybe it was just that one Scorpion Burger I got. So I said, hey, let's get this thing. Maybe ask him to spice it up a little bit. And I got some Tabasco sauce sent out to the table so that I could throw some Tabasco sauce on it. Let's be clear. The Scorpion Burger plus the Tabasco sauce, maybe 2 little fire emojis. Not 4. It's pathetic. It's a perfectly delicious burger, but it is not spicy. I got that with broccoli. It's fine. I nibbled on a couple of the kids' fries. Okay, so far, so medium. I went to Taekwondo after that. Hubba. Actually, Taekwondo and sword. Good training, yay. I learned a lot of stuff. Sword was exhausting. My shoulders are still sore. But I remembered all my stuff. I got some really good tips on my roll cuts. And if anybody out there is doing roll cuts, you're not. But if you are, the tip that I got was, because sort of one of the things that happens when we learn these forms, especially the lower level forms, is that we kind of learn, can I do this? It's a back scratcher, but we kind of learn, this like as a block and then a cut, right? A block and then a cut. But a roll cut is like one smooth thing, right? And the idea is, as you get better at what you're doing in these forms, you're supposed to be doing more roll cutting and less block than cut. There's very few forms that actually have specific overhead blocks. They exist. But specifically Form 2 does not really have any overhead blocks. It just has roll cuts and as you move into it. And it's fine as a yellow belt, which is when you learn Form 2 to do it as a block followed by a cut. But I am testing for my brown belt. And the idea is that they want me to start doing these things a little better now. So the advice I got was to bring it up and then really focus on getting the sword back behind me, like almost touching my butt before coming down for the cut, because that makes it a smoother transition into the cut. Also makes a stronger cut, right? Stronger momentum going forward. And of course, that worked. it's almost like she knows what she's talking about. So after that, I came home, and the plan was to eat something for dinner. And I wasn't hungry, and then we started watching Ted Lasso, and I found some leftover pizza slices in the fridge, and I was like, nah, these are going to go bad if I don't eat them, so I ate them. Now, I want to be clear, these weren't big pieces of pizza. These were like the frozen Costco pizza that you stick in the toaster oven. But it was not a great choice. Low protein, basically nothing in it for me. It's just what happened. And then there were snacks. There was one brownie. My wife made a tray of brownies, and they were exceptional, so I had one. And I had some peanuts while I was writing, and some Fritos, but it was a tiny bag of Fritos, but it was Fritos. So tonight was a lot of snacking that I did not need to do. And that is because I did not think about my dinner ahead of time. I didn't know what I was going to eat. I got home, and I wasn't hungry when I got home because I had worked out. And so instead of throwing together a proper dinner, I just grabbed whatever was in the fridge, and what was in the fridge was not good because it was food that the kids had shoved in there for later. Well, I guess that's going to give me something to work off before next Wednesday. Fortunately, I've got some extra martial arts tomorrow, so that'll at least give me a little bit of exercise to do. And hopefully tomorrow we're just back on the proper wagon. So the goal for tomorrow is entirely clean meals, planned ahead of time, do the work. But I'm still taking today as a win. 2 pounds down is a win. And yeah, I'm sure it would have been 4 pounds down if I hadn't had some crap. But man, a week of cooking in hell, and you need a little bit of recuperation, just emotional recuperation. So I'm totally comfortable with the loss, and I would like to just see it continue going forward. I'm starting to feel like, it's one of those things, people scoff at the idea of a set point, but I think it's a very real thing, right? It's and maybe it's just the amount that your stomach is used to eating, the number of calories that your body is used to consuming, your basal metabolism combined with your brain expecting a certain amount of food, a certain amount of sugar, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure, I'm not confident in the science behind it, but it is a real thing that I've experienced many times in my life. And I definitely, going into this camp experience, and maybe even where I am now, I'm not sure that my body isn't still trying to creep back up a little bit, but I don't think it's trying to creep up much higher than 312, right? Kind of where it was. And so if I can just push through this, get it to hang at about 300 for a while, then we can start pushing even lower than that. But part of it is going to have to be getting my body to accept that this is the weight, and let it sit. And I don't know, maybe it's wise to let it sit for a week or two. I do not know. That might be an interesting experiment to try. We'll see how it goes. Speaking of experiments, the lunges and stuff totally fell off for summer camp, so let's pick those up tomorrow as well. Although I will say, my knees have been good, my stances were good tonight, so all that felt good. So I don't think I'm in a bad place for it, but also camp is a lot of walking uphill both ways, carrying pails of water. So, obviously I got the work in. I don't have anything else to contribute as regards to my fitness, as regards to my shape, my whatever. But I will say, next week, school starts for both kids. So we're gonna find out how hard that shakes the foundations of everything I have going on. Stay tuned. That means you. Am I pointing at the camera? That means you.